You have been slain.
What the hell were you thinking, Tyler?
Thanks for ending the
Please
game
report
away.
Tyler for ending.
Defeat.
I wish I was good enough. I wish I was good enough.
League of Legends, a MOBA often considered the world's largest esport due to there being 12 domestic leagues across the globe and 155 champions to choose from at the time of writing. About 100 million people will tune into their annual World Championship each year to watch an Asian-based team take the top prize of over $500,000. It's a game I regularly enjoy due to its simplicity, compared to the likes of Smite and Dota 2. But my adoration for the title is slowly withering away, as I'm pretty much stuck in what is referred to as Elo Hell due to currently holding a bronze rank. For those unaware on what Elo Hell means, the term refers to the matchmaking ranking system where the matches are of poor quality. This is most often determined by factors such as the poor team coordination factor, which can often be out of the player's control. This makes it harder for players like myself to achieve a higher rank because it's almost impossible for you to win even if you're doing your absolute best. And in my case, it boils down to these 4 factors. The first factor I'll bring up in this case is smurfing enemies. I previously touched on this concept in my first Q and Austin video, but I feel it's necessary to reiterate the concept so people can understand what I'm going for here. Smurfing is when veteran players secretly create secondary accounts to score easy wins against inexperienced players. This phenomenon had its roots in the late 90s when Jeff Schlongor Fraser and Greg Warp Boyko were so skilled at World of Warcraft they couldn't find anyone to play with. Thus, they created extra accounts under the names of Papa Smurf and Smurfette to mask their identities, creating the decades-long process as we know it. Now, while Riot Games doesn't endorse smurfing in any of their titles, even going as far as to require new accounts to play 10 unranked games before they can play the ranked mode in Valorant, they haven't done anything to prevent such a thing in League of Legends. And it's especially difficult for players like me because I'm often paired with Iron Rank players despite having a fucking rank of Bronze 4. But sometimes it isn't the skill the player possesses, which brings me to my second factor here, broken champions. Even though League has 155 champions to select from, a lot of them are pretty much impossible to fucking play against. I'm only going to mention a few champions here for the sake of time, but just be aware that I generally refuse to play these champions out of respect for my enemies. The first on my list is Darius, officially referred to as the Hand of NOXUS, but generally referred to by audiences as a pure dunk master. He's generally a top laner, but the buffs he receives also make him a viable option for the jungle. This is because his passive ability, Hemorrhage, is incredibly easy to generate the necessary stacks for, executing his enemies with the Noxian Guillotine. Pair that with the high strength and mobility he has, and it makes for an incredibly feared champion. Then there's Yone, the Unforgotten, who possesses an incredibly complex yet powerful set of skills that makes him completely unbalanced in the middle lane. And the same can also be true for champs like Akali and Aurelia. And then there's Teemo. As cute as he is on the outside, playing the Swift Scout is a lot like playing Jigglypuff in Super Smash Bros., as he can wreak havoc against top lane tanks like Garen and Nasus due to his abilities to slow, blind, and poison.
Can't get it though.
Another problem I frequently face with the title is being paired with griefers. Now, in the case of League of Legends, griefing refers to deliberately irritating and harassing other players within the game using aspects of said game in unintended ways. This can range from intentionally feeding enemies, buying absurd items so you die on purpose, frequently calling surrender votes despite being in a winning situation, or simply leaving the game without any rhyme or reason. Luckily for that last one, Riot does automatically punish the leaver and mitigate some of the league points their teammates lose. But the leaver buster doesn't always apply to any of the other reasons I mentioned. When they happen, your only option is to simply report to players who are at fault and hope that someone over at Riot addresses the situation. And for those who feel like reporting does nothing, do remember that you can also file a support ticket directly to Riot staff to guarantee a response as soon as possible. I've done this plenty of times, as I feel like those who rub me the wrong way deserve as much fucking punishment as possible. And I will end this video by talking about the most prevalent form of harassment players often face, toxicity. Verbal abuse, as it's often referred to, is pretty much unavoidable in any online lobby. More often than not, the toxicity will be aimed at whoever's playing the worst on their particular team. It will mainly take the form of either being labeled as trash or reporting said player for intentionally feeding, despite the fact that they're just fucking having a bad game here. Sometimes they are labeled as retarded or brain dead, which I am personally offended by due to technically being on the autism spectrum here. And I just want to make this clear before I conclude. Labeling autistic people like myself as retarded is just as hateful as calling a black person the N-word. I try my absolute hardest to earn your respect here, but I have zero tolerance to being labeled as retarded. Call me that straight to my face, and I won't be fucking afraid to let my inner demons out to send you straight down to Elo Hell in the fucking process. Bullshit like this is why I struggle to enjoy League of Legends nowadays. I always try to treat this game as seriously as fucking possible, but the shit that I have to fucking go through is straight up turning it into a fucking circus, and I refuse to be a fucking clown in the process. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to give it a like, and feel free to provide suggestions on what you would like to see in the comment section below. If you want to see more content from me, please hit that subscribe button and the adjacent bell for upload notifications, and I will catch you all later.